Meet the new Renault Arkana. Super clever gearbox and hybrid tech, smart swoopy coupe styling, plenty of space for people and luggage. Is it like a BMW X6 but for Renault Megane money? Okay, so the Arkana is Renault's take on a BMW X6. Now, while it might take its inspiration from BMW, it certainly isn't going to be taking any customers. So what else might be on your shortlist if the Arkana is a possible option? Well, although Renault has rightly spotted that there aren't that many direct rivals for a non-premium SUV with coupe styling, there are a few. The Nissan Juke and, crucially, the talented Toyota CHR that we reviewed a little while back will definitely be clamouring for the same customers. Plus, it's also going to have to compete with cars such as the Mini Countryman and Volkswagen T-Roc for your money. So, just how good is it? We'll find out. Before we do, click up here, click, subscribe to our channel so that you catch all of our latest videos. It's an interesting looking car, the Arkana. The roofline helps to give it a rakish look and the big wheels give it a well-planted stance. And the full width rear light strip is a cool touch too. But that generic Renault nose doesn't really help it to stand out from the crowd. It certainly isn't as striking to look at as a CHR or as stylish as a 3008. Getting a bit chilly, so I've put this on. I hope you're wrapped up warm or at home while you're watching this. Now, it's a B for styling then. What about everyday practicalities? Well, if the boot is anything to go by, it's doing rather much better. There's no load lip, which means that you can load heavy items in and out with ease, and there's 480 litres of space. And if you don't go for this spare wheel, then there's an adjustable boot floor as well. Fold the rear seats down and you can increase that load capacity to 1,264 litres. That's large family hatchback territory. Despite the sloping roofline, rear passengers fare better than you might expect. There is plenty of headroom and plenty of legroom. I'm only 5'4½", but even taller passengers will be fairly comfy back here. The only criticism is that it's a little bit dark, and as someone who loves lots of natural daylight, I'd like to see a panoramic sunroof here, but you can't get one. Up front, there's a reasonable amount of space and plenty of storage, but not that much in the way of inspired design creativity. The physical buttons for the climate controls and the infotainment system are sensible and easy to use, but there's not that much to get excited about visually. But check this out, this car's pretending to be a plug-in hybrid. It's got the fuel gauge style battery gauge that you expect to see on a plug-in hybrid or full EV car. And that's because there's enough battery storage to do a couple of miles on electric power alone. This car is actually a self-charging hybrid. And actually, the engine tech is quite interesting. Instead of a small turbo petrol, it's got a reasonably large 1.6 litre engine plus 2 electric motors, which transmit 142 brake horsepower of power via something called a dog box. Apparently, this is because of the cogs, the teeth of which are shaped like dog ears. This means there's no conventional clutch. Instead, one of the 2 electric motors helps to spin the gearbox to ensure smooth gear changes. Clever, huh? Anyway, back to the interior. With the higher trim levels, you get this baby Tesla-esque style portrait 9.3-inch touchscreen. Lower trim levels have to make do with 7 inches. It's pretty good, it's lag-free, responds well to your touches, and includes Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The only criticism I would have is that some of the menus are a little bit fiddly and difficult to see while you're on the move. Now, let's find out what this thing's like to drive. Remember we mentioned earlier that the Arkana E-Tech does a really good impression of a plug-in hybrid with the battery gauge on the instrument panel? Well, that continues out on the road. If it's gathered enough charge in its 1.2 kilowatt hour battery, then it will go for about 1 or 2 miles on battery power alone, even at motorway speeds without troubling that petrol engine. When you do wake the petrol engine, it works with the 2 electric motors to provide perfectly reasonable performance, even if it won't set your hair on fire. The unusual gearbox means the engine doesn't make the intrusive buzz that you get with the CVT gearboxes of most hybrids, Toyota CHR included, and it's smart to step off from a standstill, but the gear changes do feel and sound a bit clunky. None of that applies if you buy the conventional 1.3 litre TCE 140 with its dual clutch automatic gearbox. It's a little bit faster to 60 and not as economical as the E-Tech hybrid. There are 3 driving modes that adjust the digital instrument display, the steering, the gearbox and the throttle response. Eco is annoying as it reduces the power available, and Sport makes the steering weirdly heavy. Best to stick to My Sense, which in most other cars is normal mode. When the mood for a bit of country road driving takes you, you'll discover the Arkana is surprisingly enjoyable. It feels eager thanks to the boost from the 2 electric motors, and it leans very little in corners, with the body feeling well controlled at all times. It is very firm though. If you're after a car with a pillow soft ride, this isn't it. In normal everyday driving conditions, the Arkana is pretty good, if not exceptional. At a gentle motorway cruise, you can get about 60 miles per gallon, and even in stop-start driving around the cities and towns, it's fairly economical too, thanks to the assistance of those electric motors. We've achieved around 53 miles per gallon overall during our time with the car, which is a little better than we got when we reviewed the CHR, and very impressive for a relatively bulky car. It's a tricky one, the Arkana. There's some clever technology in there, and the hybrid drivetrain is smooth and efficient, but it doesn't quite blow us away. It's not plush enough, not good looking enough, and not distinctive enough. And if that sounds like damning with faint praise, then that's about the size of it. That said, if it's coupe styling that you're after and BMW X6 vibes at a more affordable price, then this should be on your shortlist. But what do you think? Do you reckon it's a stunner or an also-ran? Let us know your thoughts on the Renault Arkana in the comments below. And if you're considering buying a used one, or indeed any car, head to CarGurus UK to find loads of great deals from top-rated dealers, including approved used examples.